Shams believes that the New York Knicks are going to be targeting a guard to replace Immanuel Quickley if they make a trade come the deadline, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because Shams believes that the New York Knicks are not looking to make a star-level splash come the deadline. Their next trade, if one happens, is likely to be for a guard off the bench to fill the hole from Immanuel Quickley's departure. I kind of agree with this move. I don't think the Knicks should be rushing into making another blockbuster trade, for instance, for a guy like DeJounte Murray. I think better players will come that the Knicks can trade for. And I do think the Lakers are just going to aggressively pursue Murray to where the Knicks are going to get in a bidding war. They're going to give up too much. He's not going to be a superstar level player that people seem to believe he is, or the final piece, which I don't think is true at all for the Knicks, for them to go and win the NBA Finals. And because of that, I think that they should absolutely not go for that and just try to give up a few seconds at Evan Fournier's expiring deal to pick up a guy like a Malcolm Brogdon, like a Jordan Clarkson, someone you could put off the bench, someone who can give you isolation scoring off the bench and add an actual real offensive punch to your bench unit that's been depleted ever since the loss of Immanuel Quickley. He was the Knicks' sixth man, reigning runner-up for sixth man of the year. In my mind, I thought he should have won sixth man of the year, but it is what it is. Speaking of that, Zach Buckley proposed a trade where the Knicks get the actual reigning sixth man of the year in Malcolm Brogdon, and a trade that would send Brogdon to the Knicks for Fournier, a 2024 first-round pick via Washington, and a 2024 second-round pick via Cleveland. And Buckley goes on to say the Knicks lost both backcourt depth and shot creation in the Anunoby deal, but they strengthened both those areas in the swap. Brogdon could fit with any of their guards since he can handle either backcourt spot on both ends. He's an offensive asset on or off the ball. He could even wind up cracking some starting or closing lineups if DiVincenzo's shooting cools off and if Grimes cannot heat up. I don't disagree with that. I understand the logic. I just don't know if the Knicks have to give up a first-round pick for Malcolm Brogdon. I recently did a video about Daniel Gafford talking about a trade, and I'm not sure what's going to come out first, but my big problem with it is that the Knicks had to give up a first-round pick for Gafford, which I think is accurate. The Knicks probably would have to give up a first-round pick to land Daniel Gafford. I don't think you have to give up a first-round pick to land Malcolm Brogdon. He's on a non-expiring contract. The Trailblazers are tanking. Brogdon's 31 years old. I don't see why you would have to give up a first-round pick for someone like Malcolm Brogdon, when in reality, you could give them cap relief and some second-rounders, and the cap relief comes in the form of Evan Fournier, to where the Knicks would basically say, hey, you don't have to pay this guy now. You'll get Fournier off the books in 6 months. You get some second rounders. You get the tank. That's really all we're going to give you. And I think the Knicks should stop there. I don't think they should give up first rounders now that they need those firsts to make a blockbuster trade. And guys like Malcolm Brogdon are probably not going to help the Knicks win in the long term. Though I would like to see the Knicks go for Brogdon. And part of the reason is because you get his 2 years of salary. And usually you don't want salary, but when you're looking at Brogdon and the $22 million that he will be getting, it's a fair thought to believe that if you get him, you can flip him come the summer as your tradable contract if you're going for a star. If the Knicks want to go for a star this offseason, which I personally believe they are probably going to at least really gun for, I don't know if it'll turn out, but I think if anyone becomes available, as Woj said, the Knicks are going to be in. I don't know who that is. It's probably dependent on playoff matchups and who loses out in the first round and who gets upset with who. But the Knicks are going to need a tradable contract. They'll lose Fournier's contract regardless come the summer because they're not going to accept his team option. There's just no way in hell that happens. And because of that, the Knicks are going to need a tradable contract. Also, since you're giving cap relief to the Trailblazers, you shouldn't have to give up a first-round pick. And then you have both the tradable contract and 8 first-rounders, some protected, some your own. You could also use some swaps and stuff like that. And the Wizards and Pistons picks are both valuable. The Wizards' protection will deteriorate over time until it's just a top 8 protected pick. And who knows if the Wizards will ever get out of the dumpster by then. They've been bad as long as I can ever remember. I'm 22 years old. Outside of that, little bit of time with John Wall and Brad Beal when they made the second round once, there was really no time in my life when the Wizards have been some dominant team by any means. And if the Wizards are able to break out of that, the Knicks would take advantage of it, which would be nice, but I highly doubt that is going to come to fruition unless some lottery luck comes the Knicks' way, which it seems like it never does. But really, the big thing is here, I think the Knicks need to keep all their picks because they now no longer have players who they could trade. You do have those picks, though, and teams are going to want those picks, and you could use Brogdon. He's not a negative asset, so you could use Brogdon to make a move with his tradable contract, throw in Quentin Grimes if you need to, throw a bunch of first-round picks at a team, and boom, you're getting a high-level star player who's probably nearly a perennial all-star if one becomes available this summer. And you can make that trade happen. That's one of the keys to Malcolm Brogdon is it's a rental that's going to turn into a tradable contract for you. And the Knicks could definitely use that to just sort of dangle him come the offseason and say, we have a tradable contract. We can get this done easy. Brock Aller is going to get that salary cap all right. And then things will be fine. The concern is, what do you really have to give up? Because if you do have to give up that first rounder, then you're down to 7 first-round picks and really no players who are real assets. I mean, Grimes isn't nothing, but he's not what Quickley or Barrett were when it came to value. So the Knicks are going to need all their picks. They're going to need to be ready to give up like 5 first-rounders if they're going to want like a true NBA superstar. And I'm talking someone potentially better than like a Donovan Mitchell or DeJounte Murray. I don't think you have to give up 5 first-rounders for either of them. But you're definitely going to have to give up a lot if someone else becomes available. I'd prefer that be some sort of small forward. You could slide OG down to the 2. And then there you go. You have more scoring in your front court. You have some more isolation in your front court. And who knows who that would be. In my mind, it's Brandon Ingram because I could see a world where he gets traded. But also, who knows? And if we just continue to go into it, Zach Buckley said that if the Blazers move Brogdon, they should be on the hunt for more draft picks. The deal not only delivers a first-rounder that could get better as the protection declines in both 2025 to top 10 and 2026 to top 8. And Fournier would be included to make finances work and could wind up being a buyout candidate. Exactly. You could get Evan Fournier, then instantly buy him out and basically say, yeah, we gave up Brogdon, we got 2 second-rounders back. Was it the greatest haul ever? No, but I mean, it just helps us tank. And is there really going to be a market for Brogdon? It hasn't seemed as if there's a massive Malcolm Brogdon market. People know that he's injury prone, which is another reason why you don't give up a first, is because he's dealt with these injuries. You can't trust the guy to stay on the floor. He's never had an inept ability to. And also, for some reason, his free throw shooting is way down this year. He's at 77%. That used to be his claim to fame. I believe he had the greatest season in history from the free throw line. I think he got past Jose Calderon's record. And, I mean, that's like 97-something%. He was the best free throw shooter in the world. I don't know what the hell happened. Is he the same player that he was in the Pacers? Probably not. And I think because of that, you could probably get away with not giving up that much. And given he has had a good season otherwise with the Trailblazers, but I don't think it necessarily means you have to give up one of your firsts for him. And I just don't think the Knicks should. I think you can get away with not doing that. And if you don't, there's other guys. Tim McMahon said, let's not act like the McBride extension was a huge bet. He's not being paid 6th man type of money. He's being paid 10th man type, 11th man type of money. And I still think that Leon Rose and Garrison Rosas, the Knicks front office, needs to be on the phone canvassing the market, finding other potential replacements for Immanuel Quickley in the rotation. I completely agree with that. I think they should. Someone who comes to mind is Jordan Clarkson, who Dariel just made a video on. Make sure to check that one out. And if you look right here, these are Clarkson's numbers. And, I mean, they passed the eye test to a degree. 17.5 points, nearly 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 41% from the field and 30% from 3. That's really the struggle, is that he's not making his shots at a high clip. Maybe on the Knicks, when you have more offense and when you have a team that, I don't want to say is like head and shoulders above the Jazz, but is much better than the Utah Jazz, then yeah, I think those shooting numbers could go up. That's definitely a concern. But again, I think it comes down to price. I think the Knicks can try to find the cheapest option who you could realistically make a 6th man of the year. Don't try to give up those firsts, man. We need those. We need those to make trades. I don't know why people are so insistent on, the Knicks should give up a first for this to get a 6th man right now. No, it's fine. We're 5-0 since the OG trade. It's not like we traded for OG, then went 1-4 because no one could hit a shot. We're fine. The ball movement has been better than it's ever been. We're good. Everything is okay. We're good to go. So I don't think that the Knicks should be giving up that much because they've shown they're already a good team with OG Anunoby and that they're the best they've been in years. I can't even remember a Knicks team that has been better than this. Again, I've been alive 22 years and I cannot name a Knicks team that has been better than this current one. When it just comes to roster, this is the best team the Knicks have had, probably since they went to the finals in 1999. And I don't think they should rush to make a huge move where they give up some of their assets when they're not even fully sure what the true weakness is right now, because Deuce McBride is playing fine off the bench. That's another video Dariel just made that you guys should check out, because they're doing all right. I mean, comment down below if you disagree, but I think that right now the Knicks bench isn't that bad. Yeah, there's a lack of shot creation. But also we know in the playoffs, Brunson and Randall are going to be playing 40 minutes anyway. They're not going to be playing all those 40 minutes together hand in hand. One of them is going to be on the court the entire time during the playoffs as long as both of them are healthy. There's going to be at most 1 or 2 minutes in a game. That's probably the end of the first half that they would have both Brunson and Randall off, even if they did that. We know how Tibbs operates. We know that he's going to use the starters and Josh Hart heavy in the playoffs. We know that Grimes' minutes might deteriorate. Tibbs runs an 8-man rotation in the playoffs. Deuce is going to get like 3 minutes when, like, at the end of the first half, they're going to rest Brunson for a few seconds. And Deuce will come in then. Outside of that, they're probably just going to go with either one of Sims or Achua, and then just Hart and Grimes. And then the Knicks starting 5 right now, Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Randall, and Hartenstein, barring everyone stays healthy. I think that's what they do. But clearly, there's going to be a move, because that's why they waived Taj Gibson. They have more flexibility now with 14 people on the roster and Evan Fournier's contract that they're trying to move. So something's going to happen. I think they're just going to try to slightly beef up the team, make them look a little more appealing than they already are to a person who may be looking, or a player who may be looking to change NBA teams. And I don't disagree with it as long as you're not giving up true first-round picks as your assets, because you need those so desperately. And I don't want the Knicks to strike out another star, and I feel like that's what's going to happen if they start giving up picks way too soon for a 6th man. Be careful is all I'm saying. Josh Hart is fine as a 6th man. Trust in Grimes and Deuce McBride. It's not like if the Knicks lose this year, then everything's screwed. They're not going to win the finals this year unless everything goes right. To even say that feels like a joke. The people who are not Knicks fans who would see me saying, they're like, oh, this dude's absolutely tripping. So just, we all have to relax on this. Let's not give up any first rounders. Also, just subscribe to the channel, guys. You don't want to miss any videos. If you're subscribed, and that 14% of our viewers who are subscribed, you're not going to miss anything. You'll see us right in the front row of YouTube. We're going to be on the front page. You're not going to have to look up Knicks Digest. You're not going to have to look up Knicks News. We're going to be right there, giving you all the Knicks news you could ever possibly need in your entire life. Because this is what we do. Knicks Digest to the moon, baby. Have a great day, and go New York Knicks.